to see you in the chat, Project Panic and Peter. For some reason, it's been cutting off the chat lately when I first joined. So if anyone else said hi, I didn't see it. So sorry about that. Let me pull up the music. Just got back. So give me a second. I haven't even charted out what's going on in real time yet because I've been away for about 30 minutes. So I just got back. So give me just a second here. Get all situated. Hope everybody's having a good and happy Friday. John, good to see you in the chat. All right, let's take a look at what's going on here in real time. We've got ourselves a pretty steep channel, it looks like. Looks like that to me. We're coming right up for these levels up here. That would be my first target, is this one. We're kind of up to this previous level that we were at earlier. So we'll see how we do, but this is kind of my target up here. And then, of course, the range highs, and then overnight highs, which was right here before the open. So we'll see. Jackie, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let's get some likes going. We're going for a 50 like target today. 50 likes. First goal for a subscriber count is to get to 5,900. So only 6 subscribers to get there. So that's the first goal. 5,900 subscribers. Like goal, it's going to be 50 today. And we're just going to go with that. That's going to be our 2 targets today. So let's zoom out. This is kind of a weird day. Kamau, good to see you. Kind of a weird day because we had some really steep channels, but it really just looks like a giant range. That's what it looks like to me. Giant range, but we never quite made it to these lows. So anyway, let's take a look at what we got. So I'm going to zoom in here. Yeah, we got a scalp goal. Scalp goal. I love that. All right, so in the overnight, we opened, moved up, reversed, and then we had this downtrend. Now, this downtrend clearly came down. It gets a close outside new low right here, then a higher low, and it forms this little steep channel that sort of gets a close outside new high, and then it kind of was a little bit of a flatter channel. Now, this morning when I came in, we were moving up here. It was sometime like around this green bar when I got here this morning. Maybe this red bar. It was one of these two. And so once we got this here, this triple test, I took this short. I just took 6 ticks there. And I think that there's a little bit more than that available. 2.5 points. So you could have had you could have went for 2 points there on a stop order and you would have been fine. But I took 6 ticks, which lined up with these lows right here. Yeah. So pretty good trade. I saw this as a 1, 2, 3 triple test. I would have marked it red if it didn't go higher here and it was an exactly triple test. It's also the first close outside of this channel, a new high. So we might get another leg up, which is what ends up happening. So really, if you got a lower high here that was really bearish, it would have been nice. But it makes another leg up. So you could short this candle, but I just think it's risky at that point. And I think you need to wait for the lower high. I was thinking of this blue line as our range high at the time. So it looks like a failed breakout. And then we get a lower high with a bearish bar. So I actually took this short as well. Now this one is really close to the open. It's within 40 seconds of the market opening. 39 seconds to the market open. So you're taking some risk there, taking that trade. And but it ends up working fine. It got really close to my stop loss. Because my stop loss is 1 tick above the bar. But it ends up working. It's a nice one. It's a lower high after a failed breakout. You're expecting it to probably at least come back and test the EMA and probably the range. And it ends up coming back, no problem. If this formed further away from the open, I would have probably marked this as a red arrow. But because it was right near the open, you got to be aware that there could be a spike in volatility and that can cause some issues sometimes. So I needed to just make sure that I was clear on that. Comes down. You get a second entry long here that fails, but you're not looking to take a failure right there. Right at the range high. It breaks back down. Later on, I moved the range high to this close here, especially when we got this level. So anyway, this turns into a little channel down that turns into a flatter channel right here. Now, let's see. So you get this flatter channel, close outside. It doesn't make a new low, but it comes up. You get another one here where nothing really, no trades in there. It just kind of gets a little sideways. You're a little congested in here. So you don't want to take anything here because there is a second entry short right here. But it's just too congested and sideways. You can't take that. Then it comes up here. It runs a little higher. Daryl, good to see you. Runs a little higher in this channel. And now you do get this one. So you can see here, this is like a failed breakout. We kind of had this, a bunch of touches right here of this level. And then we close on this level right here. We touch it again. This is, I called it a sort of triple test. Usually on a triple test, I like 3 distinct spacing areas. But this one closed above. So it's not really a triple test because this would be like a 1, 2, 3 triple test. But because of the way that these candles were tapping this level here, and the way that this one went up, then it went all the way down, but ended up closing here, then it went up again. It's kind of like a triple test. So it's not ideal, but it is a close outside of the channel. You kind of have this first, it's not really a second entry or anything, but it's kind of a close outside of the channel and a new high all at once. It's tried to go higher here a bunch of times and failed. I think a lower high would have been better, but the lower high is right here and it's a doji. It's not a good signal bar, so you have to skip it. Then from this high, you have a first entry, second entry long that fails. This is something that I talked about with my paid community. I know some people probably took a second entry long here. The reason that you don't want to take a second entry long here, though, is because a couple of reasons. First one being there's a down channel in play. We don't have a third swing till right here, but at the moment that this is happening, if I go over here, this is what it would look like on your chart in real time, right? So you'd have this down channel, and you don't have a touch of this, so you're longing right into the possible channel. You're longing right into the EMA and right into the possible channel, and you just failed back in, not failed back in, but you closed back inside this level. So this level is not acting as a really good support. You broke right back into it. Now, yeah, it is closing above it, but you're not getting a nice setup there. If this bounced perfectly from the blue line right there on this red candle, like let's say this bounced right here, then you could get a nice one. Oh, and speaking of red candle, what's up, red candles? Good to see you. Good to see you. But if you had this candle bouncing off the blue line, and then you closed above, then you might be able to say, hey, we got a breakout pullback, possibly. But you have to be aware of this. At this moment after this closed, you knew that this was a possible range high because you already had these closes up here. So after you come off of a range high, the most likely situation is that you're going to go towards a range low or at least a midline. So you have this move here. First entry, second entry, it's a failure. You don't want to take this. You want to wait for the downtrend to play out. Always wait for your short-term channels to play out. Respect the short-term channels every time. Always respect the short-term channels. And so you see what happens. Traps the longs, then it traps the shorts, and then it just gets sideways. Eventually, it goes higher here. I was actually considering a long above this candle if it closed higher. So like if this candle closed like up here and it formed a new low and a close outside of the channel all at once, I would have considered that as a possible long as a trap because it would have been the failure of the second entry long, then the failure of the shorts, and it would have been a nice little trap. But it didn't form that way. Yeah. It's there's some pretty today's been moving, has some pretty serious movement, and a lot of the setups today were not ideal. They're pretty much all yellow arrows, which means that they're not ideal. They're still good. Like I took these 2 trades right here, but you know they're not amazing. Then we had this one right here. So this one is a weird one, but I'll try to talk about this one. So we've started to form this down channel here. It's a little bit of a shallow channel. It's not really steep, but it's there. You can see this moves down, and it keeps making lower lows and lower highs. And we're kind of fighting for the top of this. We're fighting at this range level here. So then what ends up happening is we get this move down, another swing down. This kind of confirms that we have this trend. And then this one here closing there, fitting that trend line, told me, hey, we might get a setup here. So we have this low. This moves up. It makes a first entry short. Now, when this makes an equal high right here, you can treat that like the new high has been made on this up channel. So I like that right there. So I'm thinking, hey, I actually had an order ready to go. I had an order ready to go, right? And I was going to go short. I was going to go short below this candle if it closed bearish enough. But when it closed neutral, I didn't go short. But then when we got an equal high and this thing was bearish, I set my stop order one tick below this bar. Now, what was funny was that this bar, it opened here. It pushed up, it moved down. Now, usually I cancel my order if I don't get filled on the next bar. But this thing, the way that this thing printed was weird because before it closed, it basically like right near the end, I thought it was going to fill me. And then it immediately did. Like it opened and filled me. So I don't know how to explain it, but the way this thing printed on my chart was super fast. So I didn't even have time to cancel the order and see this as a possible congestion. So in hindsight, that is a yellow arrow. Originally, I was thinking it was a red arrow. And then someone pointed out that this bar didn't break below, but it was so fast in real time that that's how it looked. Now, I actually do have, I think I took a screenshot of that trade. Let me see. Is it on there? Where was it? I just took a full scalp on that one. I didn't go for a runner. Let me find it. I'm almost positive I took a screenshot of it. Oh yeah, here it is. And I had originally marked it red, but you can see I changed it to yellow because of where it filled me. So you can see I had a 10 contract, but I just went for 4 ticks there, just a quick little scalp. Didn't go for a runner because I was thinking, hey, we were kind of congested down here and bouncing. So I was a little concerned that we weren't going to run through. So that's how I looked at that one. And basically, it ended up working pretty nice. Now, it did end up bouncing down here. So once it bounced down here, I drew this line across and said, I'm going to stay out of trades now unless we break through the bottom of this. And so you can see what happens here. It forms another equal high. So a bunch of people get trapped here because they probably went short. But you don't want to short that because, look, we just bounced here. We had this close. We had these touches. We had this close. You don't want to short right there because now at this point, it's looking like a consolidation. So there you go. Gate, good to see you. Good to see you. Red, let me see. What'd you say? 3 contracts ending. Well, I'm trading the December contract right here. I'm trading the December ES contract, so I'm not too worried about it. The future contracts do end. The futures contracts for September are probably close to the end there, but yeah. Oh, good to see you in the chat, Trevor. Good to see you too. So anyway, this comes down here. So this traps a bunch of shorts, then it traps longs, and then it goes down. Now, there's no setup in here, but you get this move down, and you have a close outside, so you're expecting a new low. So this is something I want to talk about because this got asked earlier in my paid community. People were asking, after the close outside of a channel and we expect a new low, what can we expect in the move that goes to a new low? Now, you'll probably hate this answer, everybody, but I'm just going to try to do my best with it. You'll probably hate this answer because it's not exactly simple. When you have a close outside of a channel and you're expecting a new low to be made, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen right away. Like if that were the case, then you could just have a trading strategy where every time there's a close outside of the channel, you just enter a trade within the direction of the original channel and you would have a huge winning strategy. That's not going to work. And it's because what happens is there's multiple things happening in price action on micro movements and time frames. So for example, you have a short-term trend sometimes, and then you have long-term trends, and they're both happening with, like, this is a short-term trend within a little bit of a longer-term trend that's all within a range. So in the context of that price action, if you have a bigger downtrend like this that's been going on for longer, when it gets a close outside, it might take longer to then fill that new low. Whereas with a short-term trend, it usually happens very quickly because there's only 3 candles in that move, or 4 candles in this case, in this one. So the way I look at it is like this. When you have a short-term channel, typically after the close outside, you're going to try to make the new high right away, or the new low if it's a down channel. When you have a wider channel that's longer, it's going to take longer for it to happen. So after the break on a channel like this one, sometimes it happens like this, where you really just get 2 quick legs and then it goes down to a new low. So sometimes you get those. But sometimes what you'll get is where it'll consolidate sideways in a little micro range for a minute, or maybe you'll form an uptrend. Like, let's say you formed an uptrend here and it started to do this and it was going up for a little while. If that happens, then typically what happens then is you get the close outside of this, move to a new high, and then it reverses to make that new low on the wider trend. So you just have to be aware of the fact that, like, the most recent short-term channel typically plays out first. The longer-term channels typically take longer to play out. However, how long they were in play will help determine how long it takes to play out. So just understand that. Gate, this is actually a really important question. So my short answer to you is no, I don't think that this will reach a point where it doesn't work. The reason I say that is because I've looked at this strategy on any chart at any period of history, and it's always worked. So, for example, a few weeks ago, maybe like a month ago, I don't know, a month ago, a few weeks ago, you can go back and find the stream somewhere. There was a couple of, like, Ethereum was hitting an all-time high, or getting close to an all-time high. Before that, though, it was starting to rise. And I had some people joining my live stream who were like, hey, can you please look at Ethereum? Can you please look at Ethereum? So I pulled up Ethereum on the daily chart, and I literally showed price action. You can actually go back and verify all this. It's all there. And I, actually, you know what? If you really want to timestamp it, here. Go to my, I'm not trying to brag or toot my own horn. I just remember this. If you go to swing trading here in my free, this is the free section of my Discord. On August 22nd, I said, hey, I just sold a bunch of Ethereum at the all-time high. It was a 14x return, right? My average price was 300 on that longer term position, right? So this was on August 22nd. Now, if you go back, by the way, this is the paid section here, so you can see throughout the day all the stuff that's going on. That's just a bunch of stuff from today. That's for the people in the paid community, though, the paid section. So let me just move that out the way. So anyway, the point is, if you go back and verify, right before that, during that week, I had people in my live stream asking me questions about Ethereum. And I pulled up a chart, and I hadn't looked at Ethereum in a long time. I had a position in it, so I kind of look at it over time. But I pulled up a daily chart, did some price action analysis, and basically what we found was, I was like, hey, look, we have this trend, we have a close outside, and we're probably going to expect a new high, and we could form a second entry long. I forget exactly what it was, but I showed the exact strategies that I use for scalping the ES on a daily chart of Ethereum. And sure enough, it worked exactly as I said, and it made a new all-time high. I sold my position right at the target that I talked about on that stream several days before, and that was it. Like, exited the trade. Now, I was in a longer term hold position, but I was using that strategy as a way to plan my exit. And it was a great opportunity because it did work out exactly as it does. So the trend played out, and then it reversed, and we haven't seen the move back up to that high since. And we will eventually, but the point is, that was just a random chart showing that this strategy works. You can give me any chart, unless the time frame is something stupid like 5 seconds. But if you give me any chart that's at least like, maybe call it like a 1 minute time frame, 2000 tick, If it's NQ, even 1,000 tick. A bigger time frame, like a 5-minute chart. On any asset that has enough volume, I'll show you that this strategy works over time. It works on pretty much every type of time frame. And the reason is because the way market psychology flows. The market will move in twos because of the way human psychology works. People try to do things twice. That's why we have moves to new extremes. And then eventually if we get a failure, we get reversals. Like there's all these factors that go into human psychology and how it works on the chart. And that works on every time frame pretty much the same way. So hopefully that all made sense. But yeah, I mean, if you go back and verify, this strategy has been working on pretty much charts going all the way back to like the 1970s. And very much on recent charts. If you give me an asset, I could even, actually, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I've already done it. I'm not going to pull up a random asset and start doing it right now, but I have done that before. Even sometimes I'll get people that are like, oh, do you trade NQ? And I say, no, I don't trade NQ, but I used to. And I'll pull it up sometimes and show that I'll start charting it out, and it still works the same way. All right, let me get back into the trades here and the analysis. I'm gonna light some incense, get the office vibes going here. So just give me a second. I gotta get my better incense again. I gotta order it so I can put it in my little house again. We're at the range highs. All right, hold on. I'll come back to the rest of the trades in a second. I just need to go look at this. Whoa, hey. Welcome back to the range highs. Look at that. Perfect test of the range high. Wow. Look at that move, man. That's a Friday vibe right there. You see these on Fridays so often. Just Fridays are so funny. I feel like on Fridays, you can sometimes catch a runner on a Friday that just makes your whole week. So if anybody got a trade in there somewhere, man, that was probably something. Let me see. Is there a setup in there? There's no failure. There's a hidden one, but you can't take a hidden failure. That's wild if you do that. That's wild. Unfortunately, this whole move is really awesome, but there's not really a great entry in it. To be fair, the only one that is maybe there is this one. If you, as a higher low, equal low, you could treat as a higher low, but man, you can't. I wouldn't be taking that. So, such is life. It happens. All right, anyway. We'll let that cruise for a second. Let me come back over here. So, right here, we get this move down. Now, this is just the correction channel to a new low. So, it did that. You have these equal highs here. So, you have a pullback first entry, pullback second entry long on an engulfing bar. Now, I don't think you wouldn't take this on the engulfing bar, but when it creates the engulfing bar here where this ticks lower, reverses and closes higher, and it completely engulfs the bar, this is a nice one because once it closes, it's probably trapped a ton of shorts here. There's probably a bunch of shorts who tried to short the low. They're all trapped. So if you go long there, it's probably going to work. It ends up taking a minute to go out. I wanted a higher low here. But the higher low was a little bit too neutral for me to take the trade. So unfortunately, I don't get a setup there. I had an order ready to go, but this thing closed one tick below where it needed to. If it closed one tick higher, I would have went long there. And I'm strict about my rules, so that's it. So anyway, you get a first entry, second entry short, lower high after second entry short. Decent, but the problem is you might be still needing a new high on this. There was two ways to look at this because I was originally thinking that we might have a short-term channel like this. If you saw this as a close outside new high and a lower high, it's a little bit more valid, but it's ambiguous, so I have to mark it yellow. Plus, this is a little sideways right here. So not ideal, but decent. Cruises down. By the way, I didn't take either of those two trades. My three trades I took were this one, and that one. I didn't take this sort of triple test either. So I didn't take those other three. So I took 3 out of the 6 that I marked. Okay, so then down here, we come down. First entry, second entry long, equal low, but it doesn't break higher, and you're not really looking to pick a bottom there anyway. And that's the same thing here. You don't really want to pick a bottom. A lot of times, you're taking some risk if you do that. Then it comes down. We get this move up. First entry short. This is a second entry short, but it's kind of an inside bar, so you're not really taking that. You need really a better, like, lower high or something different there. And this is not, you know, it's just no good setup right there. And then we get this reversal move, and now we're up here. So let's see what happens at these range highs. So we're getting a close outside of the channel finally. So I'm seeing this as an equal high. You could treat this like a lower high, but you don't want to take that. You don't want to take that short yet. It's too soon. After a move like that, we want to see at least the attempt at a new high, and we don't have that yet. So I'll draw a short term here just in case it happens, but we'll see. All right, let me see here. I know. That's what happens, Project Panic. Unfortunately, sometimes you get these moves like this, and there's just... It's really unfortunate when you don't get an entry. But this is one of those strong trends where any move back to the key entry point could count as a good move. The problem is you don't actually get one, right? Like, this is a move back to the key entry point. There's no other ones until all the way up here, and then that's a bearish bar. So there's just no good setups in there. So unfortunately, that's going to happen from time to time, and you just gotta, you know, you just gotta roll with it. That's just the way it is. So everybody here, please smash up the like button. Trying to get to 50 likes today. And let's get some subscribers in. We are trying to get to 5,900. I thought these were going to be easy targets, but we don't have either. We're not even close to either one. So let's get it cruising. Last Friday, we had a bunch of fun, and there was a bunch of good stuff. So we'll see if we get it today. If you want to check out everything else, I talked about this a little earlier. You can go into my link tree. It's pinned in the chat. You can also check it out in the description. Everything's in there. You can go to YouTube to watch my free course. Go to my YouTube channel. Go to videos. Where is it? Right here, there's a 4-hour course. You can check that out. There's a bunch of other stuff on here. Got a video releasing tomorrow morning. If you want to learn about my paid community, it's right here for $99 a month. And that's got everything that I do. The full courses, the calendar of events, the weekly calls, everything gets recorded. All the real-time stuff that we do. You can see here, hey, Peter, shout out to you for posting a win today. Peter posted this win. He caught that second entry I marked as a yellow arrow trade right there. Look at that. He had a nice trade with a runner. So, super solid trade. And I think, what did you get there? Oh, you were close to getting, yeah, you were going for 6 points, it looks like, or a little bit. Nice. You got a 4.5 point runner, though. That's sweet. That's sweet. So, nice trade there. But, yeah, everybody, check it out. Check it out. What do we see? Robert P. Yeah, for sure. My Discord, I will say this. My Discord is... The free Discord is mostly pretty quiet because our active community is in the paid channel that we have on there, and that's for the paid school members. So I will let you know that. Like, most of the activity that we got going on. But when I posted that Ethereum exit, that was in the public free section. So you could check that out. We are coming back to this level here. This was just a minor level that I had drawn earlier. It ended up not really coming that much into play. There is a triple test there, right there, inside the trend, but you can't short that. That is just wild to do when you're in an uptrend like that. So now we got to wait and see. We should see at least an attempt at a new high after a move like that. But let's wait and see how this down... We got to respect the down channel here. We have to respect it. Perfect example. You get a close outside. Now, does it make a new high right away? No. But we got to respect the down channel first now. And then see. So this is what I talked about earlier in the stream. It's happening in real time right now. So we'll keep an eye on it. Alright, let me see real fast. Make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I think we're good. Nice. If you got a nice setup there, that's cool. I didn't look at... I don't know what NQ looks like right now, so I can't really say. Can't really say. our ATR is low right now, so be aware of that fact. Like right now, this is about as low as the ATR gets on the ES. So you do have to be aware of that. That can cause some issues with targets and all that sort of stuff. So just be very, very aware. All right. What is going on here? I'm just checking something real quick. We're pretty high up. I wonder... It's funny because right now, crypto has been pretty sleepy. So, but we're at like all-time highs, like on the other stuff. So, I wouldn't be surprised if crypto starts to take off and starts to go up to all-time highs again pretty soon. I would not be surprised by that, especially with where we're at in the market cycles. So, anybody that trades crypto, be ready because we're probably going to start seeing some explosive moves pretty soon. It looks pretty ripe. I've been looking at the price action of it. All right, so here we go. First entry. That's a first entry long right there. So let's see what happens here. We're getting the close outside. The only thing about that, Robert, is if you had a trend line, I don't like taking a short if my uptrend is still in play like that. The retest is where it's better, when it starts to come up and make the new extreme. So let's see if we get the new extreme here. Does anybody know the all-time high off the top of their head? Is this it over here? I think this is it. Let's mark it on the chart real quick. Alright, that'll be the all-time high marker is up there. I think that's the all-time high. Somebody fact check me. Is the ES all-time high 67.1975? Somebody fact check that. I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm only on the 2000 tick chart. I don't have my like daily chart or any of that stuff pulled up. Okay, cool. Yeah, that is the all-time high then. All right, so we got it up there. So let's label it. All-time high on ES is up there. We'll just keep that labeled. Keep that in the back of our mind. Yep. Cool, Peter. Thanks for that. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to double check. Let me know. Hey, should we listen to a different song? I feel like I'm gonna play this song out. We've been listening to this song now for... This is like the third day. I need to change. This is my new song that I put on here. I'm gonna put on a different song. Give me a second. You know what? Let's go back to this one. I'll listen to this song with my guy. I got to do a jam session with this guy again. It was so fun. That might be coming in real quiet, it looks like on my... I think it gets louder though, so I'm just going to leave it. Alright, so we got a first entry long here. Let's see what happens. I don't think that we could argue for the wider channel, but it could be. I'm looking at this as a move down. This is not exactly a very strong channel there, but we'll give it a second to see how this progresses. You do have to be aware of that fact. We don't really have like a 3 touch point channel here. You know, you could draw... Sometimes I'll draw another line like this as just like a, hey, that might be a wider little thing happening off of that close. Something like that. I'll draw it as a possibility. Doesn't mean that I'm going to respect that one, but as a possibility. It would not surprise me if we see a second entry long that makes a new high and then it immediately reverses and fails and creates a second entry short that makes a new low. It would not surprise me. So we'll see. But the market is moving kind of slow right now. It was moving a little bit better earlier. And that's the way it goes sometimes. That's just a crazy Friday move. don't chase FOMO on a Friday, fam. Everybody knows, and I talk about this a lot, Fridays are the days where most traders completely fold and destroy their week. Fridays are the biggest day for tilt. I think the prop firms have revealed data. Some of the prop firms have released data showing that Fridays are the day where most people blow up their accounts. There's just, you hear it just anecdotally from other people. Typically, like, they'll say Fridays are their worst days, stuff like that. So just don't let that be you. If you guys got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Go ahead and drop them in the chat. Making sure I'm not missing any messages over here. Yep, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, all right, so Daryl, you called it out. Nothing worse than having a really bad Friday and then having to sit with it over the weekend. Yeah, because here's the thing, like, especially if you had some good setups, right? So, like, the thing is, we have to treat every trade as unique and follow our rules. We know that. We know that. But we're human. And it's really normal for us to think about our week. Now, you have to try as hard as you can to not think about how your week is gone as you're trading on Friday and just actually approach each trade as unique. But after you have some wins, it's like, just protect your profit and be done. Wrap up. Don't take a questionable setup on a Friday afternoon and blow it up and then mess up your week and then have to think about it all weekend. Because you're just going to have a higher likelihood of coming into the next week in full tilt mode. And yeah, Trevor, for sure. Most people blow up their accounts on Fridays. It's just a really unfortunate problem. So yeah, all right. So let's map this out here. Got a little short-term uptrend. Nice little setup. So I was talking about this. It did make a second entry long, but you can't take the setup because it's a bearish signal bar. You can see this pullback first entry, pullback second entry long on the higher low, but it's not a good signal bar, so you can't take that long. You just have to let it play out. But what could happen here now is we could make the new high and get a actual second entry short that then goes and makes this new low. And it could happen off of the top of the range, which would be like another triple test of the range, which would be really nice. So that could actually happen here. We got to be patient though. Everybody here, please smash up that like button. We're at 17. We're going for 50. We are struggling to get there. What is going on, fam? We only need 5 more subscribers to get to our goal of 5,900 today. It's a small goal. I think last Friday we got like over 30 or 40. I think we got over 30 subscribers on the stream. So last Friday was popping off, but that's just how it goes sometimes. There must have been some exuberance in the market last Friday. People were popping out. People were showing up, partying. Who knows? Nice, Robert. Nice. Hey, Trevor, you have a great weekend, too. All right. Check something real quick. Okay. Let's see. Is it going to do what I said? I think it is. It's looking like pretty much setting up perfectly to do the two-legged move to a new high that then also gives us possible short setup. But let's wait and see. After a move like that, you got to be patient. Almost there. Oh, by the way, good news to share. I got approved in my vendor process with NinjaTrader, so now I'm officially a partner with them. And here, wait, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Hey, sorry about that. My son needed my help with something. He's homesick from school today. Man, you know how it goes. You know how it goes. All right, so what I was saying is that I got approved finally in the process. So now I'm an approved vendor and partner with NinjaTrader. So I'll be able to release the tools that I've been building pretty soon, and they're just going to be for anybody that's in the paid community. They're going to be just completely included. They're just part of the membership, so you don't have to worry about like some extra fee or whatever. Like the way that I'm planning it right now is just, as of right now, I'm just going to make it part of the membership that you have access to. So like this toolbar that you see at the top with all these ATRs, take profit targets, this thing below that tells you the size of the signal bar and if it's a bearish, neutral, or bullish signal bar. There's like other features as well that I haven't shown. There's a bunch of other features, but anyway, that's all going to be good to go soon. So looking at this move up, this is going to form a second entry short here, probably. So we'll see what it does. If it could be an equal high, so it could be a closeout side of this little move up to a new high. We've just made a new high, so this up channel right here has now played out. And now we have this one has made the move to a new high. Now we have this possible short-term one. This could go lower. We just got to wait. Could it be a failed breakout of the highs? Here, let's draw this line across from that previous close area, which is basically right there. Okay, it actually went above that. So this level corresponds to that touch from earlier. It didn't quite make the high of the day, but it's close. And then that's a close on that level. So we'll keep that level drawn. What's the actual level here of the high? 67.1250. So we got within one tick of that level. Oh, Daniel. Do I only trade in the mornings? Yeah. So, no, the strategy is effective throughout the whole session. However, if you trade the after hours, so after the market closes and then opens, like the overnight, trading the 2000 tick chart is like watching paint dry. It moves way too slow. So if you do trade the overnights or like the after hours, you're probably better off trading like either a time-based chart or like a lower tick amount or something, because there's just so much less trading volume. So I just don't like it. But during the regular market hours, it works really well throughout the whole session. But during this time of the day, it does slow down. So I just find that the morning has the best volume. So I like to trade the morning. It has the best volume, and then I can be done early and just go live my life. And that's the whole goal, is just to have freedom. So I just like doing these streams and doing all this, so I kind of stick around after. But by the time I go live, I'm already pretty much done trading. I'll take a trade sometimes while we're live if there's a really good setup. But for the most part, I've already had my wins, and I'm good to go. That's the way I look at it. What is this? Shoykon. Hey, man. Man or woman, I don't know. But hey, what's up? Alright, everybody smash up that like button. Definitely smash up the likes. Definitely subscribe to the channel. We only need 5 more subscribers to get to 5,900. And we need 30 more likes to hit our goal of 50 today, to have a goal celebration. Let's do it. There is a second way to draw this. Like I originally had this drawn off this close like this, which makes this a close outside new high. So I'm going to leave it on there like that. Basically, we made our new high. I'm not going to really expect that we're going to make another new high here. We made our new high. So now what I'm going to look for is, do we get a setup to go down to this low? There is a first entry, second entry short, but you can't short that signal bar. So unfortunately, it did what we said. It made 2 legs up to a new high, and it did give us a second entry short, but we don't get a good signal bar. So there's not really a setup there that's worth taking, even though it did what we thought it would do. We do have to be aware of the fact that we broke out of the top of this range. So we could form some sort of consolidation here. So we just got to let this price action play out a bit. This isn't one of those times where you know for sure, hey, I just got to, you know, take the first lower high and just ride this thing to the lows. We could end up with some sort of a consolidation zone here. We just got to wait and see. Right now, it's looking like, yeah. Let me swap this music. We'll go with it. Go with this one. This track I actually recorded when I was in Portland. All right, let me take a look at the. Hey, if that whoever just joined my Discord, welcome. Welcome. Don't forget, when you join the Discord, you have to accept the rules with the emoji. Otherwise, you will not see anything besides the rules channel. And that's because we get too many spammers. Or we used to. We don't really get that many anymore because I put that in place. But we get a lot of people who join and then they don't ever accept the rules, so they never get access to anything. I'm just like, it's really simple. It tells you right at the top what to do. Okay, here we go. Here we go. See if we get the lower, see if we get a lower high. It's moved pretty far to take it as a lower high, but let's see if we get one. Should be a pretty strong move. Even if it does print slowly. Not the best signal bar there. Not really the best. Oh. Nice, Robert. You got to say, I mean, you must have had something that you followed there. Yeah, I mean, for me, this is just kind of, it's slow going right here. So it's just the way it is right now. The volume has really kind of died off. I mean, the ATR is low. The volatility is low. There's a lot of really small bars in here. So that tells you a lot right there. It's just a lower volume of transactions, it looks like. It's taking longer for the bars to print on the tick chart, which tells me there's just less people transacting. So who knows? People must have gotten their movement and then took off. All-time high is still really close to where we are, but it's going to be a grind to get there with how low the volume is, it looks like. If you're here, please smash up that like button. We're trying to get to 50 likes to have a goal celebration on a Friday. And definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Get up to 5,900. That's the goal. If you got questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Let's do a poll. Do a Friday poll. We're going to do a simple yes or no one today. Simple yes or no. This is the question. Are you happy with your trading this week? Yes or no? I'm going to start that poll right now. So, poll in the chat. Please vote in the poll so we can see what we get. We'll see what kind of discussion we can have from it. Let's see. We got 6 votes so far. So everybody in the live, check out the chat real quick and vote in that poll real fast. It's just a simple yes or no vote. All right, so there's the lower high. It wasn't the best signal bar. It did create a first entry there. This is just, yeah, that's what I said. It's not a good signal bar. It's very sideways. That looks like congestion to me. Kind of just have to sit tight. And that's what I was saying. Sometimes you end up in a little consolidation, little congestion, little range after a move like that. So it could take a minute. We did make a new high already. Doesn't mean that we're not going to keep trying to go higher. Doesn't mean that we're not going to form a flat channel. But we'll see. We got 11 votes in there so far, but we got 36 people on here, so we need more votes in the poll. Everybody vote in the poll. Let's go. Let's get at least, let's see, we got 11 votes. Let's try to get at least, I don't know how many votes. Oh, yeah, Jackie, never chase. Never chase. You know, if you, the way that I always say with the way that I teach the strategy and the way that I do it is, if I miss the trade, I don't take the trade. So the way I look at it is like this. Let's say you're going to go short. Let's say you're going to go short below this bar right here. Not that you would, but let's say you are. You put your stop order there to get filled. And let's just say for whatever reason, the next bar opens so fast that you don't even drop your order fast enough and it starts to take off that you don't get filled. Well, you're at that point, you can drop a limit order and see if it comes back and fills your limit order at the level that you would have gotten filled. But if it's moved too far, you just have to skip the trade. That's the way I do it. I never chase the trade. And I just accept that sometimes I'll miss one. Yeah, Daryl, I think that that's right. The market will always provide more opportunities to us. So there's always more trades to be had. It doesn't matter if you miss one. It doesn't matter if you have a day where you take 0 trades because you missed every one of them. As long as you followed your rules, then you just learn from it and go, okay, how could I have gotten into these trades? How did I miss them? What could I have done differently that would have got me into these setups? And then when you figure out those answers, you have the solution. Like for me, for example, one of the ways I do it is I go like this. Let's say I'm going to go short. Not that I'm going to. I'm just going to show you this as an example. I set my order way down here. Right? I set my order way down here. So there's no way that I'm going to get filled on a short right there. Unless I'm being completely foolish and not aware that there's like a news release, right? So let's say I'm going to go short. I'll click on this and be ready to go. Because anytime that I click, that's where my order is going to be. So I'll click on this and be ready to go. And I'll start tracking the price. And I'll have it ready to go 1 tick below the bar. So let's say I was going to go short below the next bar. I'll be sitting like this. Now, I'm not actually going to, but I'm just showing you as an example. And I'll be sitting like this, ready to go. So that as soon as it closes, I can just click and be in the exact right position to get filled. So I miss trades very rarely because I'm doing it like that. Now, what I don't do is I never drop the order before the bar closes. I wait until that tick counter goes to 0 because I've had times before where earlier on in my career, I was like, well, maybe when it has like 5 or 10 ticks left, I'll just drop the order. And then what ends up happening is it taps down, fills the order, goes back, and then I actually didn't break below the bar, and then it ends up going and I take a loss. And that is not what you want. Yeah, Project Panic, I think that that's true. We're Panthers, not Lions. We wait for the prey to come to us. We don't chase the prey. Or I like to say, because I have a pet snake, I'll use the snake analogy, right? Ball python. All right, this is actually a perfect analogy. So, and it goes with what you're saying, Project Panther, or Project Panther, Project Panic. It goes exactly with what you're saying. Similarly, like, because that's what, and that's the thing, like, with a snake, like my ball python. Ball pythons in the wild, they'll sit in the same spot for like a week. They'll just sit there, just ready, sitting there, just hanging out, waiting. And then as soon as that opportunity comes, that a rodent comes across them and they see that warm body, they strike with precision, accuracy, and power, and they immediately get the rodent. They eat the prey, and then they're good to go, right? That's how ball pythons are in the wild. They sit in a spot and just wait. Or like a spider. Spiders set up their web. They just wait. They wait for the thing to come to them, and then they're good to go. You got to be patient and efficient. And that's why like snakes, like ball pythons, they can live for like, they can go like a month without a meal and be totally fine. Because they're so efficient on their energy conservation. They hang out and they wait, right? Think of that almost like our mental capital. Like, the more you're chasing things and stressing yourself out, the worse you're going to be psychologically trying to go into trades. If you're just really patient and learn how to just wait for the right setup to come to you, and hey, it doesn't matter if I don't take a trade or if I only get 1 trade or 2, and you're okay, as long as you know that you're following the rules and you're really confident in your setups, you're just going to be so much better off. Yeah, exactly, Robert. They will strike. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when I feed Alice, my pet ball python, it is incredible the speed and precision at which they strike. Right on the neck every time, super fast. It's really incredible. The amount of power that those little creatures can generate is so cool. Yep, TD, FOMO, and hoping for the continuation. Yeah, exactly. And it's hard because you'll see moves like this and you're like, oh, you know what? Let me just break the rules a little bit and set a limit order on the trend line. Well, what happens if you do that? You would have gotten filled right here and taken a loss the first time it came back to the trend line. And that's why we wait for our proper setup. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Are we forming some sort of like a flat sort of channel? Maybe. I don't see it yet, but maybe. So this is looking like, I still think we need to try to get a new low soon from these little moves. We're testing the original range level here, so let's be patient and see what we get. Oh, give me 1 second. I got to answer the phone. All right, I have returned. Sorry about that. Jennifer, good to see you. What up, fam? Just a chill Friday stream today. Chill Friday stream. So, let me see. We're at... Oh, I forgot to look at the poll. We got 20 votes on the poll right now. We'll conclude it there. We got an exactly 50-50 split. I asked, are you happy with your trading this week? 50% said yes. 50% said no. So we got 10 and 10. Let me know in the chat, what do you feel like, what made you say yes? Why were you happy with your trading week? And what made you say no? Why weren't you? So if you want to share, it'd be good for the discussion so that we can talk about it. Let me know in the chat. Just say I answered yes, this is why I felt like I was happy with my trading week. Or say I answered no, this is why I didn't feel like I was happy with my trading week. Because I'd love to have a discussion around things, be able to kind of throw some topics out there, give you my feedback, and go from there. So it's good for the discussion. So if you have or want to share, go ahead. No obligation. You don't have to share. It's an anonymous vote, so you don't have to share anything if you don't want to. But I would appreciate it if you do, so we can have a discussion around things. And that way I can help you out with whatever it is. Nice, Jennifer. How did that go? How did that go for you this week? I know that you had mentioned that on a previous stream. Did that work well for you? It takes a little bit of time to get used to the difference in the way it moves. So I will say that. Hey, good to hear that, Jennifer. Good to hear that you're on a green week. Finish strong. Don't do anything wild on a Friday. Don't do anything. I already had a whole thing earlier where I talked about that. Don't do anything weird on a Friday. Robert, closed your short early. Nice. I don't know. What is he doing? What is he saying? I never know what that dude is about or what's going to be happening. Let me see. Is there any news right now? There's no real stuff going. There's no big news. Oh, there's executive orders this afternoon. Who knows if that's going to do anything. I wasn't paying attention. I don't see anything too wild down here. Anyway. Who knows? Hey, Daryl, that is pretty good to hear. So, let me know. Hey, Daryl, so, question. When you say having a few silly trades, what are the silly trades? What are you identifying there? Like, what are they? Are they like you're still taking one of the setups that you would usually take, but just in a weird spot? Like, what is it when you say it's a silly trade? Just let me know, because I'm just curious what you mean. Because I can tell you, one time I had someone I was working with, and I remember on a call with the person, they said something to the effect of, this is what they said. This is their words, not mine. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And they said, you know, sometimes when I have a loss, I will start taking setups that aren't even really setups, right? So the whole thing is that they knew the setups. They knew what types of trades to take. But what they would be doing is they'd be taking things that weren't actual trade setups because they had a loss and they were basically tilting. So is that what's happening? And like what I mean there is that they're like, oh, this is a lower high, but it's not actually like a real lower high, or it's not even like where we would look for a lower high, that sort of thing. Paul, yeah, I took 3 today. I talked about them earlier. So I took this one, and this one right here. I did not take this one, and I did not take this one, but some people in my community took that one, and I did not take this one. And then since then, I haven't seen any really good setups. I will say that I did share it earlier. I think in my paid community somewhere. Let me see. So here's one of the people from the community. He shared his win earlier. I already talked about this. He shared one of his setups there that he was in. I had one. Where was it? Somewhere in here. I had one here that I shared. Scalp trade, 10 contract for 4 tick, scalp. So yeah, so had some pretty sweet setups. All right. Jin, what higher time frame tick chart would I use? I used to look at the 10,000 tick chart, but I don't really like to trade a huge time frame like that because of how leveraged the ES is. Like, you basically have an enormous stop loss if you take trades with a tick chart that big. So what's your reason for wanting to trade a chart that big? Is it because you just don't want to scalp and you want to swing trade or something? Okay, 5-minute chart. You said revenge trading. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Yeah, revenge trading can really get you. Were you taking just random setups? Daniel, you answered yes. Every loss you had and mistake you've made has taught you something, and you made small improvements all week, and you're getting closer and closer to your goals. Hey, that's the right mindset. Learn from those mistakes. And here's the thing, like, if you take a loss, but you felt like you were following the rules and following your strategy, it doesn't feel as bad as if you take a loss because you did something stupid that you knew was stupid. That's the way I look at it. Jennifer, your biggest problem is what I just explained. After a loss, you try to recover it fast, make things worse. Yeah, you know what a lot of people do? Another thing that I see a lot of people do is they change their account or position size after a loss. Definitely don't do that. Definitely don't. Just accept the fact that it's going to take you a while to make the money back. But don't increase your position size to do it. That is a sure way to create disaster. Because think about it. You wouldn't do that for a win. Like, you wouldn't be like, okay, I'm trading with 4 contracts, and then all of a sudden you just randomly take a trade with 8 contracts. You wouldn't just do that if, like, you're having a good week. You wouldn't just randomly do that. But for some reason, our psychology tells us to do that after losses. Just don't, though. Sometimes you'll not take into consideration... All right, so this is Daryl. You won't take into consideration all the context. Missing obvious resistance or congestion. In the moment, you have to take the setup, which is... Yeah, you know what, Daryl? This is something that we talked about actually yesterday. So yesterday, I had a call that most of you will not be able to access until you're in what's called the Freedom Collective. Once you're in my paid community for 90 days, or if you do the annual membership, then you get access to the Freedom Collective. And we're doing calls once a month that are like a little bit more advanced topics sometimes, because it's people who've already been trading price action for 90 days. They've gone through my whole course. They understand things a little bit more. So a lot of times with that, we're going to have more advanced discussion. So the first call was yesterday with that group. And we literally talked about this thing. We talked about this, Daryl, exactly this. And what we talked about was that when you're earlier on in this, especially when you haven't worked out the psychological components, you'll start to become very mechanical, right? Like, you're looking at every second entry like it's the best thing to take. Or you're looking at every high or low or every triple test, and you're hyper focused on the fact that there's a second entry or a triple test. But that doesn't actually matter that there's a second entry or triple test. What matters is, where is it forming, and is it in a spot that we want to go to do business, to do a trade, right? So for example, this second entry here was in a spot where we want to go short. It's off the key entry point, the upper side of the trend line, and off the EMA, and the close outside a new high has played out on the short-term trend. Everything tells us that this is a good place to take one. But like this second entry right here with this green bar, even though that's an equal high, let's pretend that that went higher and this was a second entry, is not a good place to take one. It's sideways. You kind of already just made a new low from this little short term, so you don't know that it's going to keep going lower. It's sideways. It's inside of a middle of a sort of rangy price action. It's not off a key entry point, really. That's not a good place to take one. So if that was a second entry short, that's not a good place to take one. Here, this is a second entry short. Not a good place to take one. We're in congestion. That's why it's not marked as a good setup. So you have to start to learn that stuff, and that comes with time and experience. But the psychological component of all this can muddy the waters, because you'll start to ignore context when you're feeling tilted. So that's really important to keep that in mind. Jin, what did you say? To find the trend. To find the trend? You don't need a larger time frame to find the trend. Why would you need that? I don't really understand the question. Why would you need a larger time frame to find the trend? If there's a larger trend, if there's a trend on a larger time frame, it's going to be there on the shorter time frame too. So let me know what you mean on that. Like, for example, if you zoom way out on the 2000 tick chart, there is no trend right here. This is just sideways. Now, if you zoom way out, like, sometimes you have big trending moves. Like, if you zoom out on the 2000 tick chart here, this is overall going up, you know. So maybe on a daily chart, there's some kind of a trend. But what's that really going to do for you? Yeah, anyway. Just trade the chart within its context. That's the way I do it. I don't like multiple time frame approaches. I'd say trade the chart within its context. Daryl, same as the other student. Yeah, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, by the way. I'm just trying to be helpful here. you'll take a more aggressive setup after a loss and need to stop thinking about the P&L. Yeah, that's the hardest thing to overcome, in my opinion, is that psychological piece of being like, you know, you feel frustrated, especially if you've been trading for a while and had a lot of moments where you were close to your goals and then you erase them because of a loss. Like, if you take a $3,000 loss, let's say, and then your next win is only going to be $1,000 because you only get a scalp, it's hard to know that you're going to need 3 scalps just to break even, right? That's hard. Unless you get a runner, of course. Then it changes everything. But you still have to adapt and know that you're trading with a win rate that's so high that it's just going to be par for the course, and it's okay. TD the trader. Yeah, being more patient. Wait for the extreme levels, like the range highs and lows. Not getting caught in the random levels in between. Exactly. Exactly. Project Panic, wider down channel. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. The thing is, though, is like... Let me just show you something real quick. We're kind of looking like this right now. Like, to me, this just looks sideways. Like, I don't really think that there could be a wider down channel, like maybe something that forms, but I'm playing this, the way I'm looking at this right now is more sideways. So I would just want to draw short-term channels within the context of us being in like a sort of flatter, rangy type of thing. That's how I would look at this. All right, everybody, smash up those likes. We've got 25. We're going for 50. We only need 3 more subscribers to hit our stream goal to get to 5,900. So, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe. If you haven't liked, please hit the like now so that we can get closer to our goals. We're pretty far off, but I think we'll get there. I think we'll get there. Trying to take a look, see if Alice was awake. She's never awake at this time, though. All right, let's see. Does anybody have any questions they want to ask? Anything at all? Let's see also. I wonder... This thing is printing so slow. Should we take a look at any other... Should we take a look at any other charts? Let me know. If there's any chart that you want me to look at. Let me know. Looks like it's going to be bright and sunny out here soon. I forgot, I didn't check the... Checking my local forecast. Bear with me a second here. Try to enjoy some of this. Try to enjoy some of this weather. Oh, wow. It's supposed to get up to... Wow, it's supposed to get up to 81 here today. And sunny? That's pretty wild. Nice day, it looks like tomorrow, too. So that'll be good for soccer games. Okay, let me see. What's that question? Yeah, so for sure. So commissioning, coach. All right, so let me tell you real quick. So, a couple of things. Yes, there will be setups during that time. Like, there will definitely be setups during that time of the day. But I will let you know, I don't trade during that time of the day. So, like, a lot of the value that you get out of being in the community. Now, of course, you can still go through the course and learn the entire strategy, and you can apply it to that time of the day, no problem at all. The problem, though, that you will, the thing is, though, a lot of the value comes from this, right? Like, each day, and I post these links. Like, here's yesterday, for example. And throughout the session, I post these chart updates with actual trades. But I stopped posting them. Right before the live stream starts. So part of the value you're getting here is you can follow along in real time during the morning session to like see if you're trading the chart the way that I trade it, and like if you're mapping everything out. Because if you're trading during the session where I'm not trading, there's no overlap between us where I can like really give you as much help, right? So like I'm active trading in the morning and then I go live and do my stream. So the problem is if you are trading a different session, you're not going to be able to really like use that functionality, I guess, with the exception of if you somehow start trading earlier in the day. So I just want to be clear on that. But you can definitely still go through the entire course and learn the entire strategy. And there are people who trade the afternoons on their own completely fine that have learned the strategy from me and use the exact same methodology. You're just not going to have me there verifying it. However, one thing you can do is if you are trading that time of the day, like let's say you're trading at like 2 p.m. Eastern and you take some trades, you could always use what's called the trading questions. So inside school, if you go trading questions, you can just ask questions. So you can post a thread with trading questions and post some screenshots of your chart if you have questions on stuff, and I'll get back to you. So I can still answer your questions and help you out that way. Even though I'm not trading during that time, I would be happy to help out. You might not get the question answered like in real time right away, but I will answer your questions, so you'll still be getting direct feedback from me. And then also when I do the live calls once a week, you can ask me questions there, and I'll still be going over everything with you and helping you out. We can still review some of the chart together. Like if you were trading that session, for example, and you were on like one of the calls, I could just pull up that part of the session. So like here's yesterday. That session is pretty much from like basically this wick to here to the end of the day. And we could still map out the price action, right? Like, and we could still talk about it on calls. So you'd still get that feedback. But I just want you to know kind of how it all works. So hopefully that will help you with making your decision, so you make the decision that's best for you. There's a close outside, new low. First entry, second entry short after. Not exactly where you want one, but it's there. There's a second entry short here within the down channel. So like this would be one that's pretty nice actually. You can see that there. That's a second entry short during that part of the session. Now, I'm just looking at this real fast, but there's a second entry short right there that you could take pretty easily if you were trading during that time of the day. There's actually a failure. First entry, second entry long failure there. Probably not where you want one, but it's there. So anyway, yeah, all the methods still work. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. And who knows what the future holds, right? Maybe down the road. Maybe like way down the road. I'm talking like way down the road. Maybe there's people that have been in the community for a long time that become really good at this. And maybe there's somebody who later on will cover the afternoon session. That's a serious possibility. That wouldn't be me, but maybe there would be somebody else down the road that has been a price action trader for a while, is really good. Maybe they could cover chart updates during the afternoon session, and maybe even do a live stream in the afternoon, or who knows? I'm not saying that that's gonna happen anytime soon, but I'd be open to that, of course. If there's other people that can make this even better to like work on this too, cover the afternoon session or whatever, like that could be a cool thing. I think that could be a really cool thing down the road. I'm just spitballing. That was just a random idea that came to my head just now. So just spitballing there. I'm not saying that's like anything that I'm actively planning or anything like that. All right, so now we're coming back up to these range highs again. So let's see what we do. You actually have a first entry short. This is an equal high, so it's kind of like a second entry short right there, but it's really like one leg. So let's see. We just made a new high there. Drag this line over as a possible area. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I always want to make sure that anybody who joins knows exactly what they're getting. I try to spell it out as best I can with the video on the About page to show like exactly what's all involved. I click around the community and show it. I'll probably make a new one soon that's even more thorough. But I'm waiting for the toolbar features to be done so then I can include that in the video that's on the About page. So I'll probably make a new video for the About page for people who want to join. Probably in like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll probably make a new video. But for now, I think it covers everything. But if you do have questions, just join my free Discord. It's at the link in the description, in the link tree, in the chat. You can join my free Discord, and you can always ask me questions in there, and I'm happy to answer them. So if you have any questions before you want to join, just pop in and ask whatever questions you have. Because I want to make sure that it's like, I don't want anybody to join if they don't know what they're getting, right? So feel free to do that. All right, anybody got any other questions? Well, our goal was 50 likes, and we're at 29. I don't know what happened. Our goal, we only got 3 subscribers so far. We're still trying to get 3 more to get to our goal. It could still happen, but man, we're struggling today. Struggling on that today. That's all right. At least it was a great trading week. So at least there's that. I can hear my dog dancing outside the door. second entry short right there. Sort of. It's kind of a second entry short right here, all in one bar, but, you know, it's inside stuff, so not the best. But it kind of looks like a second entry short. If you look at this like 2 legs. Right off that level, but you don't want to short right onto this level here that was like our previous range high. It's just risky to do that. You got to be patient here. It's there, but I don't know. Hey, Jackie, you too. You too. Okay, I just got somebody popping in. Hey, let me ask if you're on the... On. I got somebody asking me questions in my Discord. I just want to see if they're... let me copy the message link. Give me 1 second. All right. I got somebody asking me questions in Discord. I told them to pop into the live stream to ask me on live. All right, let's see. So, there is a second entry short there. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to whistle into the mic. But not the best setup. You can see right here, like, just where it is. It's like right there. It is a triple test. It is a new high of the day. So you can kind of treat that like a triple test. But when it makes the new high like that, you got to be careful. I think really you need a lower high here to be like confident in this. That's my opinion. You know, I think you need a lower high here. Just not the best signal bar where it closes. It's a little dicey right there. All right. Let's see. Do we get the lower high? Well, you're getting an equal high here. It's kind of like a lower high, but let's see. And there you go. That's why I said you need a lower high. There you go. It's making an equal high, which can be treated like a lower high, but too bullish. So, really a neutral bar, but... All right, so we're running up now to a new high. So let's see. It looks like this level still wants to hold up here, this blue line. Still, I wouldn't be taking anything unless it's a lower high to go short here. Even if you want to treat this like a triple test. It keeps making higher highs, so I don't like that. We're at 32 likes. 98 subscribers. We only need 2 more subscribers to hit our stream goal to get to 5,900. We only need 18 more likes to get to 50, and that is our goal for the day. So let's see if we can get there. Let's see if we can get there. If you're here, hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe. All the things. Let me try to get this candles in the right spot. There we go. So, decent little setup there, but again, it's risky to go short there unless you get a lower high, in my opinion, with how it's forming. Because yes, it is a triple test, but we made higher high, another higher high. It's just not ideal. Not ideal. Okay. Oh, MB, you must be the one that just joined my Discord. So thanks for, because I think that's the question you asked in my Discord, right? So I appreciate you popping into the live stream. It's just easier for me to answer questions here. So I appreciate that. Well, especially if I'm already live, I might as well. So how am I able to take trades today? How do you... Okay, so... right here in the top corner, I'm using NinjaTrader. I'm on the ES December contract. I have it set to 2,000 ticks. And if you look at my live stream earlier, I went over the setups. I mean, there were setups like, so there was this one in the overnight right here, triple test, in the pre-market, I mean. There was this lower high right before the market opened. There was this triple test here that you could have taken during the session. There's this second entry short right here. There's a bunch of setups. I mean, the volatility is really, it wasn't really volatile today. It was pretty low volatility in my opinion. There was some decent movement, but it was pretty low volatility overall. There were some setups here. There's this lower high. There's a second entry long. So there's plenty of setups that happened earlier during the regular session. So I don't know. What are you asking? Are you just wondering, like, how do I get into it if the market's moving quickly? Is that what you mean? Let me know. Because I feel like the setups were pretty straightforward, some of them. I showed earlier some people from my paid community. There was somebody who posted they got into a really nice trade today. They took this one here, and they posted that. I posted my trade from this one in the paid community. So, yeah, I mean, I use stop orders. So when I'm going to enter a trade, I do it like this. I set an order. Like, let's say I'm going to go short. I use a stop order with an ATM strategy. And then what I do is I get to the area where I want to drop the order. And once the bar closes, I drop the order. And then it stops me in one tick below the bar. And then I use an automated trade management strategy for my exits. So hopefully that makes sense. That way I get at the top of the queue for my limit orders. Gets me into gets my limit orders for exiting in faster than most other people. So that way I can get filled on my scalps without it even having to tick through most of the time. Like earlier today, even when I got into this trade, right here, even though it was pre-market, my take profit was right here at this level. And usually you need it to tick through your order to fill, but I got filled as soon as it tapped the level because as soon as I entered the trade, my take profit was set right away. So I was in the queue before a lot of other people. And that happens a lot, which is nice. I teach the entire strategy in my community, in my paid course and everything. So if you join the paid community, which is right here, and you go through it, and you go to the classroom, and you start getting into all the course, everything is laid out in the course. Everything, how to do it. There's examples of trade executions and all that stuff in here with commentary. It's all in there. So I go over everything in detail. Do my best to answer them on stream too, but most of that stuff is just in there. You know, start to wonder. Project Panic raised the question earlier. Do we have maybe some sort of possible channels here? Could we be forming? I mean, we might be forming something like this. I mean, it's pretty. Like sometimes after a move like this, you just. You know, you start after an unsustainable trend. Sometimes you get a more sustainable trend. So we might be forming something like this. No more excuses. The way that I do it is that the Discord is just part of the regular paid community. So you join this, which is $99 a month, and then that gets you access to the courses, the weekly Q&A calls, which are on the calendar. It gives you access to all that. The full courses, the backlog of all the calls, because they all get recorded. The real-time updates, and then you get access to the paid Discord as part of your membership to this. And you'll also have access to the indicator suite toolkit that I built for NinjaTrader once it releases in a couple of weeks. So like this custom toolkit and all this other stuff will all be included in that too. So it's all just one thing. It's all just $99 a month on that membership. I don't have like a separate membership for the paid. I don't have it all. I don't have it like broken out. Like I don't have like a Discord membership that's separate from the course, and I just have it all as one thing. Because people have asked me before, like, oh, what if you just sold the course as a separate fee, and then you did a membership as a separate fee? And I'm just like, I just want it to be simple. So I just made it simple. Plus, I add to the course over time, so it's good to have an ongoing membership to it, because I add things and all that. And like having that membership where you get those weekly calls, like sometimes those calls are so valuable that they're like a course on their own. Let's see. Does that answer your questions? No more excuses. Let me know. Let me know. Yeah, right now is an exciting time to join because you'll be getting in right before all these tools are launching. So you'll be able to start testing them and using them and everything, and it'll be it's a cool time. It's a really cool time. Had to invest quite a bit to get them built, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Literally built it out for because it's what I wanted for myself, and it's made my trading so much better having some of these tools on here. Like the signal bar thing is so useful. Knowing if the signal bar is qualifies for a bullish, bearish, or neutral signal bar, that's such a crucial thing. So it's been really cool. Man, this thing is a grind, though. It is a grind today. I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here soon, unless we start to see ourselves getting some more questions and whatnot. I didn't hear back from you guys, but hopefully I answered your questions properly. Definitely smash up the like button if you haven't already, so we can try to get to 50 likes. We only need one more subscriber to get to our goal of 5,900, so let's see. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it'll happen while on stream. Here, I'll be right back. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, so these levels are just getting toasted. So, I mean, the market's moving so slow. It's hard to really, like... It's like watching paint dry right now. But these levels are getting toasted. I mean, this one is pretty much gone. But you can't ignore the fact that it's grinding higher in this sort of very flat channel. You just can't really ignore that. It's got to respect it for what it is. Probably not going to be a short opportunity. It's probably going to be long opportunities only right now. But it's just so slow. So, anybody got any other questions? Because I might just wrap the stream up here if I don't see anything else come through. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions adequately and you got what you needed. Good times, though. Good trading week. Looking forward to going into next week. Haha, Lobber Dobber. Am I playing music? Oh, you mean like on stream? Am I playing music on stream? I guess I could. Are you? Is that what you meant? Do you mean am I playing? Do you want me? Do you mean am I playing live music, like playing my handpan live on stream? Is that what you're asking? Let me know what you mean. Because I play my handpan every day, but I do play it every day. I actually already played it a little bit early this morning, but I will play. I always play it. But if you mean on stream, I could. For sure. Yeah, we actually talked about maybe doing this on Friday sometime, so maybe that's a good call. Why not? Why not? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Maybe that'll get us to our final subscriber that we need to hit our target and get us to 50 likes. So let's get some more likes going. Let's get that final subscriber. I'm gonna play some handpan on stream here. So give me a second. Let me see something real quick. Let me do this. Here, give me 1 second to get set up. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, wait. Is that right? Hold on. Give me one more second here. I'm going to try to get this situated. Good. Hold on. I just broke everything. Give me a second. All right. All right. I'm almost ready. I'm getting some stuff situated here. Getting some stuff situated. All right. Let's do this. Go here. And we'll go here. And I didn't mean to make myself that big. Just going to make myself a little bigger here. Hey, I just realized that we hit our stream goal for our subscribers. We didn't hit our like goal yet, but we hit our subscribers. So you know what that means. Goal! I was on the wrong screen setting, but it worked. All right, anyway. All right, thanks for subscribing. Let's get cruising here. So what I'm going to try to do real quick, I got to change the mic. Where is it? Mic. I have to make the mic more sensitive for it to work. All right, let's see. Sorry if this sounds absolutely chaotic. Give me a second. Just making sure that it all works properly. Yeah, let me see. It's hard to play it in this chair, so I'm doing my best. All right, we're back. We're back. I think we're good now. Let me just fix that mic. All right, I think that's good. Let me know, how'd that sound? How did that sound? I don't know how it sounds on the stream, so just kind of went for it. uh yes, Daryl. It is somewhat, it's pretty difficult to learn. I've been playing for years. Um I wouldn't say it's probably easier to learn than some instruments, but it is pretty difficult, like get the finger techniques down and like the subtleties of the notes and everything, and you can't hear it all through the mic because I'm just using my regular mic. Like, this isn't my actual setup that I'd usually record from. But there's a lot of subtlety in like how you strike the pan, the different ways that you can create like um dynamics in the actual notes. So there's a lot to it. And then understanding that you're having to play a rhythm and a melody at the same time. It's not like a drum where you're just playing rhythm. There's actual melody notes, so you have to like create a melody while while holding a rhythm. So it's a pretty tough thing, to be honest. But it's definitely easier to learn than some instruments, I think. I don't know how to play a bunch of instruments or anything, so I can't really speak to all of them. But like, it seems like it's easier to learn than like piano, for example, I think. Because my kids play piano, and piano seems harder. Even guitar seems, that one, I don't know, maybe. Guitar might be harder as well. Not hard to tell, though. Hard to know for sure. So there is a second entry long there. Pullback first entry, pullback second entry long. Not a setup I'd take. That's a pretty neutral bar. While I was playing it was looking like it was going to form a big bullish bar, but it didn't. All right, let's see. So if anybody wants to smash up the like button, let's do it. We only need 10 more to get to our second goal. That first goal was kind of a dud. I was in the other screen because I was trying to set it up for the handpan, and then it got all messed up. So the goal celebration was all wonky. Sorry about that. Wonky goal. I'll probably wrap up here in a minute. So nice out. I think I'm probably going to go. I might possibly go for a nice trail run today. It just seems so nice. Might as well get that trail run in. Mm-mm-mm. All right, fam. I think we wrap up the stream here because it's pretty much super slow. Even though it's grinding towards the all-time high, and it might go there, it's just such a slow grind. It's hard to really find any setups in this while it's grinding so slow because it's taking so long for the bars to print. There's some possibilities, of course, but it's still just not. It's just really slow price action on this Friday right now. So it was really good earlier. But it slowed down quite a bit. The ATR is really low right now, so that tells you that there's just not a lot of volatility at the moment, just not a lot of transactions. So that's just the way it is. But yeah, have a good weekend, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll get the stream scheduled for Monday right now. And thanks for joining today, and I will talk to you all soon.